Stop sounding so cringy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a direct comparison of Club de Nuit Intense Man by Armaf and Aventus by Creed. Now, yes, I only have a decant here. I hope that's okay. So if you're new to my channel, I like to do these comparisons kind of twofold. So first I spray each one on my wrist and give you my initial thoughts and my initial comparison. Then I step away for an hour or two, let the scent really dry down and warm up on the skin. Then I come back and kind of reevaluate how it's smelling. So before we get into the testing, let's talk about notes. So in Club de Nuit Intense Man, you've got top notes of lemon, pineapple, bergamot, blackcurrant, and apple. Middle notes of birch, jasmine, and rose, and base notes of musk, ambergris, patchouli, and vanilla. And of course, the notes in Aventus Creed, you've got pineapple, bergamot, blackcurrant, apple, middle notes of birch, patchouli, Moroccan jasmine, and rose, and base notes of musk, oak moss, ambergris, and vanille. So I picked up this bottle from Chemist Warehouse. I believe it was like 50 or 60 Australian dollars. And Aventus Creed in Australia is well over $400, okay? So I'm interested to see how they stack up against each other, especially with such a massive price difference. I will be spraying Club de Nuit on my left hand. I'll give you my initial thoughts. Very good atomizer. Very heavy application. Okay, immediately you've got lemon overload. Very tart, almost like a sanitary lemon. It is kind of like almost leaning toilet cleaner at first, not gonna lie. But if you guys know me, I don't judge a fragrance just by how it smells on the initial spray. I do get a little bit of that blackcurrant, but the apple, I'm not really getting any of the apple. I get the patchouli, but the vanilla hasn't really come out yet. So on initial spray, it's very, very lemon heavy and like a very cold sanitary lemon with some patchouli and maybe some blackcurrant. I don't get a lot of the pineapple. I don't really get much of the apple on initial spray. It does have like a dirtiness to it, and I would attribute that to, it's like a green dirtiness. So my assumption is that's the patchouli, but it's very muddied up at the moment, so it's hard to make out a lot of the notes underneath. I'm going to spray Aventus now on my right wrist. Maybe a little bit too heavy. Is that possible? Immediately what I notice about Aventus is the pineapple. The pineapple is much more forward, same with the apple. You're getting more of like a tropical fruit and more of like a juicy, realistic fruit. I mean, that's to be expected. It's a way more expensive fragrance, so I'm not surprised by that. And I'm not getting that like sanitary smell that I get from the Armaf version. Right away, it also feels cleaner. And I don't mean that in like a sanitary way. I mean, it's crisper. I can more easily make out certain notes. Like, for example, the musk. I get the musk more clearly, and I get a little bit of jasmine, not much floral though. And I get more of the oak moss. Again, haven't quite gotten the vanilla to come out yet, but we'll see how it warms up. Yeah, it's still a nice citrus fruit, but it's not as overwhelming and sharp as the Armaf, at least off the bat. I'm also more easily picking up that woodiness. It's more clear to my nose, the birch in Aventus. So if I were to compare now, again, the lemon in Armaf, it's more synthetic. More synthetic, and really, like, I'm only saying that because it's in a bad way. It's too sharp, it's too intense, not as fresh and crisp, and I'm not getting any apple in here. If there is apple in there, it doesn't smell like apple, but in Aventus, I'm really getting that nice crispy apple, which might be attributing to more of a sweet fruitiness instead of that really bitter lemon that's in the Armaf. It's a little bit off-putting, I won't lie, at least on the first spray, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to step away for maybe an hour, 2 hours. And so at the moment it is 8:15. So I'll try and come back maybe around 9:15, 9:30, and we will see how these have dried down.
1 hour later.
Okay, I am back. It is almost 9:30, so it's been a little over an hour now. Okay, smelling both of them again. So Club de Nuit has gone a little more smoky on the skin. Right away, I mean, I would say that now that they've dried down, they're more similar. So I think off the first initial spray, I could really get the differences, especially with those fruit notes at the top. but now that it's dried down on the skin, they're a lot more similar to me. It's just that the Club de Nuit seems smokier, maybe more leathery, and Aventus is maybe maintaining a little bit of that citrusiness above any smoky leather notes. It's also a little bit more powdery, actually. I think Aventus is giving a little bit more powdery to my nose. I think they're way more similar now that they've dried down. It's actually crazy. It's just that, yeah, Club de Nuit is a little more smoky. The fruit is not as forward, whereas Aventus, that citrus is still a little bit more forward. It's not as smoky. It's a little bit more powdery. And actually, when I sprayed these and then I went into my living room, my husband's out there, he actually couldn't tell which one was which. Maybe he has a layman's nose, but he thought they both smelled great. And I agree. I think on the dry down, they both smell really good. The strength is similar. I don't get any major difference with projection or the intensity of the scent. I think maybe if you can't get past the initial spray, I totally get it, because I was a little put off by the initial spray of the Club de Nuit version. But on the dry down, I'm really enjoying it a lot more. And I definitely can't smell as much of a difference, which usually when I do comparisons like these, it's really easy to pinpoint differences in scent. And with these two, they're still quite similar on the dry down. I'm actually very impressed by this one. It's just that initial spray, I can see how it might be off-putting for some people. But I think if you can manage past that, I think this is a great one. I mean, you win some, you lose some with these. These are a lot cheaper, a lot more in the affordable price range than, a Creed fragrance. So in that way, you kind of get what you pay for. But if you make it past the initial spray, they both smell really good. And I know for a fact my husband does wear Club de Nuit Intense, and I love it on him. When he wears this and it dries down, it gets that real leathery, masculine, sexy, and I love that. I love it on him. So I'm glad to test it on myself and get like a similar result, and comparing it side by side, I am pleasantly surprised. Let's say that. I'm pleasantly surprised. So those are my final thoughts. Please let me know what you guys think of this one. Have you smelled it? Are you keen to try it? I know it's nothing new, so I mean, there's probably been a million of these comparisons, but I like the way that I do them specifically. I don't just spray it and then make up my mind. I really like to let it dry down, let it warm on the skin, and then kind of give you my thoughts, which if you like comparisons like that, then follow my channel because there are much more to come. And thank you so much for watching this video, and subscribe if you enjoyed. That is all for me, and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.